So there have been 3 cheating scandals across poker, chess, and even competitive fishing. I don't know if you guys saw the fishing one, but they found weights and fillets during a fish weigh-in. And then everybody wants us to check in on the chess and the poker scandals. Chess.com just released their report that this grandmaster has been suspended. They have evidence he cheated, basically in a bunch of tournaments that were, in fact, for money. He denied that he had done that, but he had previously cheated as a kid. They now have the statistical proof that he was playing essentially perfect chess, and they have outlined this in like hundreds of pages in a report. Sacks, what are your thoughts on this scandal in chess?
Magnus Carlsen finally came out and explained why he thought Hans Niemann was cheating. Basically, he got the strong perception during the game that Hans wasn't really putting in a lot of effort, that he wasn't under a lot of stress. And it's his experience that when he's playing, the top players, they're intensely concentrating. And Hans Niemann didn't seem to be exerting himself at all. So his, hackles were raised and got suspicious. And then, he has had this meteoric rise, the fastest rise in classical chess rating ever. And I guess he had gotten suspended from chess.com in the past for cheating. So on this basis, and maybe other things that Magnus isn't telling us, Magnus basically said that this guy is cheating. I think that maybe the interesting part of this is that there's been a lot of analysis now of Hans Niemann's games. And I just think the methodology is kind of interesting. So what they do is they run all of his games through a computer, and they compare his moves to the best computer move. And they basically assign a percentage that Hans matches the computer move. And what they found is there were a handful of games where it was literally 100%. That's basically impossible without cheating. I mean, you look at the top players who through an entire career have never had a 100% game. Chess is so subtle that the computer can now see so many moves into the future that nailing the best move every single time for 40, 50, 100 moves is just...
And in chess, which a human really can't do that well, is that there are positional sacrifices that you will make in short lines that pay off much later in the future, which is impossible for a human to calculate. And so, and you saw this, by the way, when I think it was the Google AI, the DeepMind AI that also played chess. So the idea that this guy could play absolutely perfectly according to those lines is only possible if you're cheating.
Right, exactly. So there were a handful of games at 100%, and then there were tournaments where his percentages were in the 70-something plus. And so just to give you some basic comparison, Bobby Fischer during his legendary 20-game winning streak was at 72%. So he only matched the computer for best move 72% of the time. Magnus Carlsen playing at his best is 70%. Garry Kasparov in his career was 69%. And then the super GMs category are typically in the 64 to 68% range. So I think it's really interesting actually how you can now quantify by comparing the human move to the best computer move.
And it's multiple computers,
who's playing the best.
They actually have...
It provides a way to assess who the greatest player ever is. I actually thought that it was Magnus, but now maybe there's a basis for believing it was Bobby Fischer because he was at 72 and Magnus was only at 70. However, look, the idea that Hans Niemann is in the 70s, 80s, or 90s during tournaments would be, just an off-the-charts level of play. And if he's not cheating, then we should expect over the next couple of years that he should rapidly become the world's number one player over the board, now that they have all this anti-cheating stuff, right? So it'll be interesting to see what happens in his career now that they've really cracked down on, with anti-cheating technology.
I have a general observation, which is these people are complete fucking losers. The people that cheat in any of these games don't understand this basic, simple idea, which is that trying is a huge part of the human experience. The whole point is to be out there in the field of play trying. And it's basically taking the wins and the losses and getting better. That is the path. That's what's fun. Yeah. Once you actually win, it's actually not that much fun because then you have this pressure of maintaining excellence. That's a lot less enjoyable than the path to getting there. And so the fact that these people don't understand that makes them slightly broken, in my opinion. And then the other thing is why is it that we have this strain of people now that are just so devoid of any personal responsibility that they'll just so brazenly take advantage of this stuff? It's really ridiculous to me. It's really sad. These people are pathetic. They're
It's
losers.
really pathetic. But it is really interesting how they caught him and running this against a computer. Here's a chart of his scores in these tournaments. This first chart is how quickly he advanced, which was off the charts. And then the second chart that's really interesting is his chess.com strength. So if you don't know chess.com, it has become like a juggernaut in the chess world, especially after that HBO series came out. A lot of people subscribe to it. I subscribe to it. I like to play chess there. And man, you look at the chess strength score there, he was just like perfect. And then the number of games he likely cheated in, you can see the last two columns. He's basically cheating in every game. Queen's Gambit, yeah, great show on Netflix. And he said he didn't cheat in any of the games where they were live streaming, but they've proven that wrong. Sacks, how does he cheat in person then?
Well, that's the thing. No one really knows. And I don't want to overly judge it until they have hard proof that he was cheating. I mean, look, here's the thing. He was never caught in the act. It's just that the computer evidence, seems pretty damning. And
Yeah,
here's the thing is, I don't know how they prove that he was cheating over the board without actually catching him doing it. And I still don't think anyone really has a good theory in terms of how he was able to do that.
Well, it's not just him, though. Like, look, the fishing thing, Jason, which was crazy. I think Friedberg shared the video. This guy was in a fishing competition, and they basically caught these fish, and then they put these big weighted pellets inside the fish's body. They even put like a, chicken breast and chicken fillets inside of the thing so that they would weigh more.
Yeah, they put fish fillets in.
Then there's in poker now. In poker, everybody's afraid that there are ways in which you can read the RFID in some of the cards and some of these televised situations and front run what the playing situation is so that you know whether you're winning or losing. And again, I just asked the question, like, are things that bad that this is what it gets to? Like, we all play poker. The idea that we would play against somebody that would take that edge.
Yeah, it's gross.
Really, it's really makes me it's sad. It's so disappointing.
Yeah,
well,
it's horrible.
One observation might be that across all three, because I'm trying to find some common thread across these, but it could be that there was a lot of cheating going on for a long time. And maybe the fact that we do have so much digital imagery that's live on these things now, and so much coverage, and everyone's got a cell phone, that suddenly our perception of the cheating in competitive events is becoming more attuned. Whereas maybe there's been a lot of cheating for a long time, and it's just kind of coming to light. I mean, we didn't have a lot of live streaming in poker. Who knows? I mean, we could probably ask Phil this or Keating, but like, for how many years was there suspicion?
Tons. Yeah.
Well, there was tons of cheating in online poker.
Yeah, and
in online poker. Remember, like, people were using these like software programs that would track the hand history of your opponent.
Heads-up displays.
HUD, yeah, exactly. So it would help you assess whether the person might be bluffing in that particular situation.
Yeah.
Like, it has superhuman memory.
So I don't know if you guys watch Twitch, like video games like Fortnite or whatever, but there are like players that have been accused of using these screen overlay systems that basically more accurately show you and drive the mouse to where an individual is on the screen so you can more accurately shoot them. And so there's software overlays that make you a better, competitive video game player.
Can I tell you what the through line is?
And then the stuff basically became like, so now what's interesting is now there's eye tracking software that people are using on Twitch streams to see if the individual is actually spotting the target when they shoot, or if the software is spotting the target.
Yeah, they're called aim bots. They're aim bots. Yeah,
and like reverse cheat the whole thing. And I think what's interesting is just that there's so much, insight now, so much more video streams, so much more. I mean, think about it, all those guys at that fishing competition.
Tools. Yeah,
and all had cell phones and they all videoed this thing happening.
Yeah.
Think 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been the case, and there wouldn't have been a big story about it. And so,
Chamath, you said there was a theme you wanted to. There was a thread.
I think the theme is pretty obvious, which is that there's been an absolute decay of personal responsibility. People don't feel like there's any downside to cheating anymore. And they're not willing to take it upon themselves to take a journey of wins and losses to get better at something. They want the easy solution, the easy solve, the quick answer, that gets them to some sort of finish line that they have imagined for themselves will solve all their problems. The problem is it doesn't solve any problems, and it just makes them a wholly corrupt individual.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this Hustler Casino Live cash game play. There's this woman, Robbie, who is a new player. Apparently, she's being staked in a very high stakes game. She's playing against this guy, Garrett, who is a very, very known winning cash game player. And it was a very strange hand. On the turn, all the money gets in. She says she has a bluff catcher. Then she claims that she thought she misread her hand. Now people are saying that the poker world seems to be 70-30, that she cheated, but people keep vacillating back and forth. There was a lot of weird word salad that she said, that she had a bluff catcher, which would normally be an ace. Then she said she thought she had a pair of threes, and then she immediately said afterwards that he was giving her too much credit. They confronted her in the hallway. She gave the money back because she supposedly loves production. So all of this stuff sounds very weird. One side says, okay, well, this is happening because she's a noob player. The other side is saying somebody was signaling her that she was good and giving her just a binary, you're good. Because if you were going to cheating with Jack High in a situation where you just put all in for a $250,000 pot seems very suspect. I don't know if you guys watch the hand breakdown. Where does everybody stand on a percentage basis, I guess, of if they think she was cheating or not? Because this is not definitive, obviously. Well, it's not like they cut it open and found the ball bearings.
It's not so obvious in that situation, but I think the way that line played made no sense.
Did not make any sense.
She was holding a Jack 4, and I guess in her previous hand, she had a Jack 3, and there was a 3 on the board. So if she misread her hand,
the board was 10-10-9-3.
No, but you would have had to call the flop, thinking what?
Yeah, no, I get it. The hand makes no sense, but I'm just trying to find a logical explanation.
And that Jack 3 explanation, somebody kind of fed that to her, and then she changed her story to that. So this changing of the story is the thing I was sort of keyed on, Friedberg, is why does she keep changing her story? Is it because she's embarrassed? Maybe she's had a couple of beverages or whatever. Or she's just a new player and she's embarrassed by her play and can't explain it. She can't explain the hand history.
All of the things you're saying are probable. I don't think there's any data for us to have a strongly held point of view on this. I'm just looking forward to us all playing live at HCL Poker Live, October 21st, minus David Sacks, unfortunately. Chamath, J-Cal, Gerstner, Stanley Tang, Phil Hellmuth,
So we're going to be playing on the same stream.
We're going to be playing on the same stream, same table. I figured out how to hack into the video stream for the cards.
No, I just got my RFID sunglasses as well.
I'm going to read all your shitty hands, J-Cal. I'm going to take your money, and I'm going to buy my kids some nice clothes.
For my 40th birthday, Sky organized poker in Tahoe, okay? And we brought in the team from CBS. That was the present.
That was fun. Yeah.
And they taped it as if it was being broadcast with whole cards and commentators, and we edited it into a 2-day show. It was an incredible birthday present. It's one of the greatest things that anybody's ever given me. I appreciate it. There was a 1-hour block where somebody at the table said, okay, guys, how about we do a cheating free-for-all?
Yes.
Where you could look at each other's cards and, you could sort of help somebody else.
Switch cards, whatever.
In that 1 hour, our beautiful home game of friendship became Lord of the Flies. I have never seen so much hatred, angling, mean behavior. Oh my God, it was incredible.
All that humans are capable of.
So I hope that we never see cheating in our game.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it goes on October 21st at HCL Poker Live.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
It should be a lot of fun. Oh, and we're not having any official 100 stuff, but the fans, some of the fans who were at the All In Summit 2022 are doing their own 100 episode 100 meetups on October 15th, I think. allinmeetups.io. So there are fan meetups happening in Zurich and a bunch of other places. I'm going to FaceTime into some of them and just say hi to the fans. It might be like 10 people in a bar somewhere. I think the largest one is like Miami or San Francisco are going to be like 50 people or something.
We should all FaceTime in. That'd actually be kind of fun.
I told them to send me an invite and I'll FaceTime in anytime.
This is next week? When is this?
The 15th, I think, is it's occurring. Yeah, October 15th. It's a Saturday. The Saturday after the 100th episode, people are doing these. Allinmeetups.io.
What's next?
Earlier this week, it was